I spent my life savings to buy my daughter Maya her dream home and art studio so she could build a fresh start. But when I visited unannounced just 3 months later, I found her sobbing on her own porch while her mother-in-law barked orders at her from the living room. Her in-laws had secretly packed their bags, moved in permanently, turned her professional art studio into their master bedroom, and forced her to sleep on a fold-out couch while acting as their full-time maid. They thought because she was married to their son, everything she owned belonged to them. But they forgot one massive detail. My name was the only one listed on the deed. When my daughter Maya turned 28, she had finally saved enough money to start thinking about buying her first property. She worked as a full-time graphic designer and spent every free evening painting, dreaming of opening her own art studio. Seeing how hard she worked, I decided to contribute the remaining half of the down payment. We found a charming 2-story house with a detached garage that was already converted into a bright, spacious studio space. To protect our investment and ensure the property stayed safely in our family, I handled the paperwork directly with my lawyer. The title and deed were registered exclusively under my name, with a legal agreement that Maya would take full ownership once the mortgage was fully paid off. Her husband, Mark, was informed of the arrangement and agreed to pay a modest monthly contribution toward utilities and groceries. For the first 2 months, everything seemed peaceful. Maya set up her easels, installed specialized studio lighting, and began taking private client commissions. However, trouble began when Mark invited his mother Evelyn and his adult brother Todd to visit for a weekend. What was supposed to be a 3-day stay quickly turned into 3 weeks. Evelyn started criticizing the layout of the house, complaining that the guest room was too small and that Maya's art studio was a waste of prime residential space. Without asking Maya or Mark, Evelyn ordered a full set of bedroom furniture and had it delivered directly to the house. When the delivery truck arrived, Evelyn instructed the movers to throw Maya's paintings, canvases, and professional equipment into cardboard boxes and stack them in the damp garden shed outside. When Maya confronted her mother-in-law, Evelyn laughed in her face and claimed that, as the matriarch of the family, she deserved the largest and quietest room on the property. Mark refused to stand up to his mother, telling Maya to keep the peace and stop making a scene over hobbies. Over the next month, the situation worsened drastically. Evelyn invited Todd to move into the original guest bedroom permanently. Together, they forced Maya to handle all cooking, cleaning, laundry, and grocery shopping for 4 adults while still maintaining her full-time remote job. Whenever Maya tried to work at her desk, Evelyn would deliberately turn off the house Wi-Fi or demand that she prepare fresh meals on short notice. Maya was worn down, exhausted, and terrified of ruining her marriage, so she kept the truth hidden from me. My intuition told me something was wrong when Maya stopped answering my weekly video calls and only sent short text messages. Deciding to check on her, I drove over to her house on a Tuesday afternoon without calling first. When I pulled into the driveway, I saw Maya sitting on the front porch steps in tears, wearing stained clothes and holding a basket of her brother-in-law's laundry. Inside the house, music was playing softly, and I could see Evelyn relaxing on the sofa. Through the window, I walked up to Maya, held her hand, and asked her to tell me everything from the beginning. As she explained how her studio had been destroyed and how she was made to feel like a trespassing servant in her own home, my sadness quickly turned into absolute focus. I walked straight through the front door without knocking. Evelyn looked up from the television, startled, and immediately began putting on a polite smile, asking what brought me over. I did not return the pleasantries. Instead, I retrieved the legal deed documents from my briefcase, laid them flat on the dining table, and called Mark and Todd into the room. I clearly explained that the house was solely my legal property and that neither Mark nor his family held any ownership rights. I gave Evelyn and Todd exactly 48 hours to pack their belongings and leave the premises, making it known that law enforcement would be summoned to remove them for trespassing if they failed to comply. Mark tried to argue that a wife's property automatically belongs to the husband's family, but my attorney joined the conversation via speakerphone to firmly correct his misunderstanding of property law. Within 36 hours, Evelyn and Todd packed their bags and moved into a rented apartment across town. Realizing that legal action was imminent, Mark realized the gravity of his failures as a partner and agreed to attend marriage counseling while seeking an independent apartment until he could prove his loyalty to his wife. Maya and I spent the following weekend moving her art equipment back into the bright studio space where it belonged. Seeing her smile again while painting at her easel proved that protecting family boundaries is always worth the fight.